Attachment theory. Attachment theory, developed by psychologist John Bowlby, is a psychological framework that explores the nature of emotional bonds between individuals, particularly in the context of early relationships, such as those between infants and their primary caregivers. The theory suggests that early experiences in relationships shape an individual's patterns of relating to others throughout their life. Key concepts of attachment theory. Attachment. Attachment refers to the emotional bond formed between an infant and their primary caregiver, usually the mother. This bond is essential for the infant's sense of security, exploration, and overall development. Secure base. The primary caregiver serves as a secure base from which the infant can explore the world and seek comfort during times of distress. The caregiver's availability and responsiveness provide a foundation for the child's exploration and sense of safety. Attachment styles. Attachment theory proposes that individuals develop different attachment styles based on their early experiences. The three main attachment styles are: toxic parents. Toxic parents are parents who exhibit harmful or damaging behaviors towards their children, often leading to emotional, psychological, or even physical harm. These parents may engage in consistent patterns of behavior that negatively impact their children's well-being and development. Here are some common characteristics and behaviors associated with toxic parents. Emotional abuse. Toxic parents may engage in emotional abuse, such as belittling, demeaning, or constantly criticizing their children. They may use manipulation, guilt, or emotional blackmail to control their children or undermine their self-esteem. Neglect. Toxic parents may neglect their children's basic needs, including emotional, physical, or educational needs. They may be unresponsive or indifferent to their children's feelings, experiences, or overall well-being. Control and manipulation. Toxic parents often seek to control and manipulate their children. They may use fear, intimidation, or threats to maintain power and authority over their children's lives. They may also manipulate their children's emotions or use them as pawns in conflicts or power struggles. Inconsistent or unpredictable behavior. Toxic parents may exhibit inconsistent or unpredictable behavior, leading to confusion and instability for their children. They may alternate between being loving and nurturing and being critical or abusive, making it challenging for children to predict their parents' reactions. How traumatic childhood experiences affect adulthood? Traumatic childhood experiences can have profound and lasting effects on individuals as they transition into adulthood. The impact of childhood trauma can manifest in various areas of a person's life, including their physical and mental health, relationships, and overall well-being. Here are some ways traumatic childhood experiences can affect adulthood. Emotional and psychological impact. Childhood trauma can lead to a range of emotional and psychological difficulties in adulthood. These may include depression, anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, dissociation, low self-esteem, and difficulties with emotional regulation. Trauma can also affect cognitive processes, such as attention, memory, and problem-solving abilities. Interpersonal challenges. Traumatic experiences in childhood can influence how individuals form and maintain relationships in adulthood. They may struggle with trust, intimacy, and establishing healthy boundaries. Individuals who have experienced trauma may also exhibit patterns of avoidance, isolation, or have difficulty expressing their needs and emotions. Physical health consequences. Childhood trauma has been linked to a higher risk of developing physical health issues in adulthood. This includes conditions such as cardiovascular disease, obesity, autoimmune disorders, chronic pain, and overall poorer physical health outcomes. The stress and dysregulation caused by trauma can have long-term physiological effects on the body. Substance abuse and addiction. Adults who experienced childhood trauma may be at a higher risk of turning to substances as a way to cope with emotional pain, numbness, or self-medicate their distress. Trauma can contribute to the development of substance abuse disorders and addiction in adulthood. Self-destructive behaviors. Some individuals who have experienced childhood trauma may engage in self-destructive behaviors, such as self-harm, risky sexual behavior, or compulsive behaviors, as a way to cope with overwhelming emotions or gain a sense of control. Revictimization. Individuals who have experienced childhood trauma may be at a higher risk of revictimization in adulthood. This can manifest as being involved in abusive relationships, experiencing further trauma, or finding themselves in situations that replicate the dynamics of their earlier traumatic experiences. Difficulty with life transitions. Childhood trauma can make it more challenging for individuals to navigate major life transitions in adulthood, such as starting a career, forming stable relationships, or becoming parents themselves. The impact of trauma can interfere with a person's ability to trust, feel competent, and adapt to new circumstances. It's important to note that while traumatic childhood experiences can have significant and long-lasting effects, individuals have the capacity for healing and growth. Seeking support from mental health professionals, engaging in trauma-focused therapy, building a support network, and practicing self-care can all contribute to the healing process and help individuals move towards a healthier and more fulfilling adulthood.